Don't allow yourself to be distracted or doubt what is right for you at this time, Aries. You know what is aligned. You know what your intuition is trying to say, but I get the sense that some of you are still doubting it or questioning it, or maybe there's another person close to you that is doing this. But ultimately, I think this is especially applicable if there is a situation that feels like there is a quick fix or solution being offered to you, because I think you know deep in your heart there is something that is going to require time, dedication, and genuine effort for you to see results, to see transformation, whether this is about something you are doing or something that somebody else is claiming to be doing. So be very, very discerning there, but I think you already kind of know to do that just based on the animal cards that I already pulled for you. We will get into the tarot in just a moment, but first I want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's with all of your support that I can continue putting out these messages for all of you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. If you haven't done so already and you've been following around, definitely hit that subscribe and bell notification. I am actually looking to rebrand, and that way you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. I am also running a sale on my website, so if you'd like a personal reading, if you're ready for that deep dive or to do some energy healing together, you can get 15% off all of my services using the code Jupiter at checkout on my website, which is linked in the description box of this video, where you can also find all of my other social media accounts and follow along there as well. So Aries, I do want to get into some of these animal cards, and the first one that I actually got was the moth. And this kind of clued me into there is maybe a situation that is like a flame. There might be something shiny, new, or exciting, or seems really promising, but it's like a false light. I was kind of getting that with this moth. So if you are being drawn to a situation or even a person that feels really exciting, and it's almost like a rush, that might be a sign that this isn't actually fully aligned for you. And I think you sort of know that already, because I do have the buffalo and the unicorn that came out as well. And the unicorn is actually about the third eye. It is the horn that pierces through the veil. It is seeing the truth or knowing or feeling into the truth, and also being very open and curious, because it's not the truth that just comes to us by forcing it. We see it because our minds are already open. It's literally like opening an eye. So allow yourself to see with openness, and you will see the truth. And I do also have the buffalo here, which is a very grounded but also spiritual energy. So it's actually kind of interesting to see this card as well, because I do think of this card as devotion, dedication, spiritual discipline as well. So meditation is very important. Being disciplined with your spiritual, magical, intuitive practices, your wellness practices, whatever it is that you know you need to do. And living your life in a way that is very devotional. What are you devoted to? That is actually a really good question to ask yourself right now. What am I devoted to? Because I do kind of feel like with the moth, there might be something here where you could be distracted. And I mean, moths evolved to track moonlight and starlight. That's why they're actually drawn to other sources of light as well. It kind of messes with their evolutionary system of navigation. And so it feels like there's something maybe distracting you. Again, that word keeps coming up, and it might actually be a particular person, if I'm being honest. Or again, like a quick solution. Because I feel like you are meant to learn something here so you can teach others. And when you're on that path of being a teacher, of being a guide, it is something that requires work and discipline. There aren't shortcuts. So don't try to cut corners right now, okay, Aries? And I know with Saturn in your sign at the time of this recording, this isn't always the most comfortable placement for you. Saturn is actually traditionally considered in its fall or at its weakest in your sign, because Aries naturally wants to do things. It's about the instant gratification. It's about the now. It's about the immediate results. And Saturn is asking you to slow down, to look at the bigger picture, to take yourself and your life more seriously, and maybe even be more efficient, planning more. There is something here where there is kind of like a bit of a disciplinarian energy that is coming in, and it might feel like it's kind of hard on you, but it's not to reduce you or to diminish you. It's actually to polish you, to make you really shine. And it is also really helping you grow spiritually as well. And I mean, with the moth too, I do also see this as a transformational dark night of the soul as well. So some of you have been going through an emotionally deep or maybe even intense healing crisis. But this feels like you are kind of coming out of a transformation, but it is a general reading. So maybe some of you are still feeling like you're in the cocoon. You're going through the dissolve, the transformation, whereas others of you might be emerging into the night. But regardless, it's important not to fall off the path right now. Stay on the path, and you're going to know what that means for you, I think. Very, very curious to get into some tarot cards here. I'm curious if we'll get more clarity on this or if there will be some other kind of messages for you as well. And as I'm shuffling, I just want to remind you that these are general readings. So again, trust your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to you and leave behind what doesn't for everybody else. I even invite you to pause this video, actually, especially for this group right now. Take some time to really connect with your energy so you can best discern what is meant for you at this time. What are the messages that we have for Aries? Show us clearly, please. What are the messages for Aries? Interesting. So I did have 3 cards that came out, and I actually kind of want to change the order. I want to flip the order of which I flipped them originally. So I have the 6 of Cups coming in the past energy. And maybe for some of you this is the present, because this is what I was kind of pulling. So this might be something for you to use discernment. There's a cycle actually that's going on right now that is repeating, and it does feel tied to healing, especially healing your inner child, reconnecting to family, to your roots, maybe to a younger version of yourself where you felt more aligned. It feels like that is something that you're supposed to be doing now, or something that you have been doing. And it's almost like remembering your own soul, remembering your heart. What is your purpose? What is the legacy you want to leave on this world? This feels really big. And I mean, the other card I pulled was the World. This is in the present for you. But it could also be the energy from the past. And it's funny because the World literally represents the cycle of beginnings and endings. And so you are at a threshold right now, Aries. I do feel like some of you are actually emerging from the cocoon right now, especially since what you have gotten from the past influence is the Hermit. You did have to go within. You did have to heal. Some of you have been isolating or withdrawing or otherwise just intensely introspecting, reconnecting with yourself. And now I get the sense that there is a turning point. There is literally a transformation. And I mean, the world is beautiful. It's full of possibilities. It's opening yourself up. But that's why I also feel like there could be some possibilities that are almost more like distractions or not necessarily aligned for you at this time. But I see this emerging. And you're in a good place, actually, Aries. It's not like you're in a bad place with this. Because with the Hermit, you see the light. Traditionally, this is often a star in a lantern, but this is literally like your inner light. And sometimes we lose sight of this light when we're in kind of the busyness and bustle of modern life. And we do quite literally need to sometimes retreat or withdraw from that to reconnect to this light. And you've done that. You've found your inner flame. Do not be distracted by the fires in the world around you. You know what is true for you and what to act and what is in accordance for you to act with. Interesting. And it's funny, I actually did place the Hermit over the Moth. So that's kind of funny that this kind of flame keeps coming in. Your inner fire, your inner light. I did actually bring a piece of citrine in to this reading for you. And this is actually a stone that is supposed to correspond most strongly with the solar plexus chakra. And I'm thinking of the solar plexus chakra as that kind of Agni, that inner fire, that inner light. And so that does feel like maybe this is an energy center for you to work with, that inner knowing. We did get the third eye as well, which is the unicorn. So maybe there is something about connecting to something like claircognizance, that inner knowing. Even if you can't quite explain where it comes from. It feels, even though the third eye is here, this actually feels like trusting your gut is kind of the impression I'm getting from this reading. 10 of Wands. What did I say? Wands represent fire. It's the element of fire. And the 10 of Wands can indicate taking on too much at once. That is the challenge for you right now. Don't take on too much. Be very simple, very direct, very forward. Simplify is the message I get with the 10 of Wands very often. Let go of what isn't serving you. And I feel like this is actually very tied to beliefs, to old traumas, to old stories, old narratives, because you're... How to say this properly? I feel like some of you are in a very disempowered state, or you've been in this place. And whether or not you believe things happen to you for a reason doesn't really matter, actually. Because ultimately, we are human. We get to create meaning out of things. And I think there is something here that you are meant to create meaning out of, a healing cycle. But that does mean letting go of some of those disempowering or self-sabotaging beliefs. What are the ways that you kind of deflate yourself? And it's funny because I do feel like you're supposed to be moving forward, but this doesn't feel like it's a race, right? This feels like it's more of a marathon. Checking in with yourself often, moving forward gradually. And I think consistency is actually what is key right now. This isn't about going after something in a short burst. The effort, the time and effort will be worth the wait. Or the result will be worth the wait. And as I say that, I get the star. You already know. You already know, Aries. You are meant to be following this inner light, this guiding star, this North Star. Maybe right now you're not even able to do that because there's still some things that are being cleared out, but you will be progressing shortly. And there is healing, there is renewal, and it doesn't feel like this internal kind of healing cycle anymore. There's relief. Because I think sometimes with healing, it's actually a very acutely painful process. You're resensitizing to old things, to old complexes, and that can be very destabilizing. You need to kind of be in a stable place to even get to the point where you're able to really address that most of the time. And so I feel like you've been in sort of this like very deep healing cycle. And now there's the relief. There is the sweet part of healing that is coming in. Can we actually get a little more guidance with the star? What are these blessings really about? We have the Page of Wands, reconnecting to your passion, your zest for life, that inner child energy. Again, especially since you are a fire sign and the wands correspond to fire, this literally feels like reconnecting to your inner child. And I will also say, even though this is a timeless reading, Jupiter did just enter into your Cancer 4th house of home, of family, of childhood, where you come from, your roots. Yeah, your roots. Healing at your root. Getting to the root of things. You've been doing that in kind of an internal way, and you're now seeing the fruits of your labor for the healing that you've been doing, and it's opening new doors. New doors are opening for you right now, but it's important that you choose the right one. Yeah. And you might be hesitating to make that choice with the Four of Cups. I did technically pull this as a blessing, though. And when I see this in kind of the position of blessings, which has actually come up quite a bit lately, I do think of the Four of Cups as finding the silver lining. Seeing the things you've overlooked, seeing things from a different perspective. Because there can be a dissatisfaction or even a disgust or something that's off-putting with the Four of Cups. But the universe has been trying to give you a new beginning. Any other blessings at this time? What is the advice for Aries? Any other advice for Aries? We have the Seven of Pentacles. I mean, this is advice. Your hard work will pay off. I mean, again, this is not a time for quick solutions, quick answers. So do things in a sustainable way. I am getting this story for you, Aries. Some of you have tried to go from thing to thing to thing, to place to place to place, to different practices, to different belief systems, trying to find the answer. And I actually think the answer is a lot simpler. The solution is a lot simpler than you realize. And yet you've let yourself be distracted or convinced by other people, by other like producers, creators, people who are trying to push things on you. The truth is actually very simple. And I'm not saying don't take anyone else's advice. Don't look into any of these kind of healing modalities at all, but don't overcomplicate it. And also don't feel like you need to be fully healed before you make your difference in the world. Oh my God, what's the name of that girl? She had cystic fibrosis. And that she literally had a video titled like that. She talked a lot about death and dying and living with a terminal illness. She actually passed away several years ago. Oh my goodness, what's her name? I'm not remembering it in this moment. So check the comment section. Someone comment that down below. I'll try and remember and comment that myself. What was her name? Was it Grace? Anyways, she talked a lot about, not waiting to be fully healed before you help the world. She did a lot of advocacy for death and dying kind of modalities, and talked very frankly and very simply about her life and her struggles and her experiences. And she kind of demystified the dying process. She made people more comfortable with it, or that was the work she was trying to do, and make it more of a conversation. And maybe there is even a call to do that yourself in some way. But I do feel like don't wait to be fully healed. Don't give yourself more barriers than you need to. Don't get in your own way, Aries. And don't let other people get in your way either. You are working towards something. There is something very beautiful and aligned and blessed. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to be an immediate result. And I know that's going to turn people off, because people want to go to these readings and they want the immediate, this is what's happening to you today or tomorrow. You're finding your soulmate. You're getting your dream job. I actually do feel like you're getting there, But it's not going to be something that happens overnight. Especially with the astrology right now. I just have to be real. You might be finding something like your dream home or reconnecting with your roots, feeling more rooted or more healed. That potentially could be happening for you, but otherwise, it really feels like you are doing the dedicated work to make your dreams into a reality. That is quite literally what Neptune and Saturn in your sign is doing for everybody. But there's also this kind of disillusionment that's going on, and it's kind of getting out of the energy of being confused, of kind of being in this sort of dreamy Pisces headscape where both of these planets have been in the years past. It's not abstract anymore. It's now the practice. It's now the practical exam. That's what I'm getting. You are putting things into practice now. And setting things in motion. And you're going to be the one who makes it happen. It's not going to be handed to you. And that's almost more empowering in a way. So I would love to hear from all of you how this resonates, what this truth is about. I do feel like this is very tied to purpose. I think I do want to just pull really quickly into relationships right now. That didn't necessarily come up. Yeah, you might just be very focused on your future and long-term planning, or maybe you're making plans with another person if you are in like a close relationship or close relationships. Tell me more about this Two of Wands. You could also be connecting to people from different parts of the world right now. Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, you're not messing around when it comes to your relationships. And I'm feeling like there's also that message. Don't get distracted. You know where you want your relationships to go. You know what feels aligned for you. I'm getting the sense that for a lot of you, you want like a pretty committed partnership, or that's the type of relationship you're most interested in cultivating. And you're not going to waste your time, or that's the advice. Don't waste your time on people who aren't ready for that, or who aren't moving in that direction. This could also just be kind of the advice for you to focus on your own long-term stability, and that's when love and relationships will follow suit, when you have more of that groundedness yourself. But I really get like, the energy feels just quite serious. So taking relationships very seriously. Things are getting serious. Anything else here? Yeah, we do have the Seven of Cups. There's distractions. There are distractions, and I do think it's coming in the form of relationships right now. Don't fall in love with people's potential. That is just something I want to kind of offer as a word of discernment for those of you who are dating or looking for love. See people as they really are. And while you're making these plans for the long term, don't get too dreamy about this. Be practical about this, okay? Be very, very practical with your relationships. And you might even be in for a little bit of a surprise with your relationships, if I could be so honest. Focus on where you want to go. Whether that's for yourself, with another person, and take tangible steps towards that. And also with the Seven of Cups, it really is kind of this card where, particularly in like a relationship reading, I would ask you to really look, are people's actions aligning with their words? And this was originally, I was thinking this as like kind of in your personal relationships, but this could also be in people you are following or listening to, or people you're taking advice from. Do they really feel like they are practicing what they preach? And that could also be something that's reflected back at you as well, because these messages are very fluid. They will apply to your lives in different ways, especially here on YouTube. Any other pieces? No, I don't think so. I will just say Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. There is a new beginning here, and I love the Ace of Pentacles because to me, this is the most stable of all the new beginnings. But it is also the one that is the slowest and takes the most work. So yes, there are new beginnings in your professional life, also in your relationships, I will say as well, because sometimes I even do think of the Ace of Pentacles as like a very solid commitment or very solid relationships, and like going into a new phase, getting more serious, getting more committed. So that might also apply to relationships as well. But I'm really just seeing this Ace of Pentacles as kind of the capstone here. Like, yes, it will be worth it in the end. Putting in the time and energy and effort now will be something that pays off for you. So I do hope that this was uplifting, that this gave you some things to feel inspired about. And if you've made it all the way to the end, give us this buffalo emoji or this bison. I actually think this is a bison, which is kind of funny. Drop that emoji. Let us know what animal it is. Claire Winfield, that's the name of her. Or Wineland. She's the one I was talking about earlier. That was the name I was trying to remember. So look her up as well. She might have something for you. And I will see you all in the next video. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. And again, you can get 15% off all of my services using the code Jupiter at checkout. You're also welcome to check out the playlist on my channel for your moon, rising, or sun sign. And I'll see you next time. Take care, Aries.